Strong people are not born calm. Calm is built. Emotional control is not about killing feeling. It is about deciding when feeling gets to move your body and when it does not. The first habit that separates the emotionally weak from the emotionally untouchable is the ability to detach from instant reactions. This single skill changes how the world treats you. Most people live in reaction mode. Something happens and their body answers before their mind arrives. A message appears and their heart rate jumps. A word is spoken and anger rushes to the tongue. A small insult feels like a deep wound. This is not power, this is exposure. Anyone who can control your reaction can control your direction. When emotion takes the wheel, judgment steps out of the room. You have felt this before: heat in the chest, tightness in the jaw, hands moving before thought settles. Later comes regret. Not because the feeling was wrong, but because the timing was wrong. Timing decides outcomes. Reaction destroys timing. Detaching from instant reactions does not mean ignoring reality. It means inserting space between what happens and what you do next. That space is where authority lives. Authority over yourself comes before authority over anything else. Without it, strength leaks out in moments of pressure. Think of how many situations have gone wrong simply because response was too fast. A sharp reply that damaged trust. A rushed decision that closed a door, a public reaction that revealed insecurity. These moments seem small, but they accumulate. Over time, people learn how to push you. They learn which words move you. Once they know that, you are no longer free. The emotionally untouchable person feels everything but obeys nothing without review. Feeling appears, is acknowledged, and then placed aside until clarity arrives. This creates a different internal rhythm. Instead of spikes and crashes, there is steadiness. Steadiness changes posture. It changes tone. It changes presence. The body always reacts first. That is natural. Control begins when you do not immediately act on that signal. The heart may race, but the mouth stays closed. The mind may feel pressure, but the hands stay still. This delay may last seconds or minutes. That delay is not weakness, it is command. Most conflicts are won or lost in the first few seconds. The one who reacts emotionally hands power away. The one who pauses keeps it. When others expect heat and receive calm, the balance shifts. Confusion appears. Confusion weakens their position and strengthens yours. Detachment also protects dignity. Emotional reactions often reveal need. Need to be respected. Need to be right. Need to be seen. Need exposes vulnerability. Vulnerability invites manipulation. When reaction is delayed, need is hidden. Hidden needs cannot in daily life. This habit looks simple but feels difficult at first. A comment lands wrong. Silence follows instead of defense. A mistake happens. Correction waits instead of panic. Someone tests limits. Boundaries are set calmly instead of emotionally. Inner strength grows. The mind resists this practice because it wants relief. Reaction gives quick relief. Speaking releases pressure. Acting releases tension. Detachment delays relief but protects long-term position. Short relief trades away long-term control. Long-term control demands patience. Patience is not passive, it is active restraint. It is the decision to not let emotion decide direction. Direction chosen calmly lasts longer. Direction chosen emotionally often changes the next day. There is also clarity that comes with delayed response. When emotion settles, facts rise. What was said is separated from how it felt. Intent becomes clearer. Options appear that were invisible during reaction. This clarity leads to better outcomes. People who master this habit begin to feel different inside. The body feels cooler during stress. Breathing becomes slower. Thoughts line up instead of colliding. This physical calm reinforces mental control. Control reinforces confidence. Confidence reduces emotional spikes. Over time, others notice the change. Provocation stops working. Drama finds easier targets. Respect grows quietly. Not because of fear, but because unpredictability fades. Calm people are hard to read and hard to move. This habit also builds. Each time you do not betray your standards for a temporary feeling, trust in yourself increases. Self-trust creates inner safety. Inner safety reduces emotional volatility. Volatility disappears when you no longer feel threatened by every situation. Detachment from instant reactions also sharpens listening. Instead of preparing replies, attention stays on what is actually happening. Listening reveals motives. Motives guide strategy. Strategy replaces impulse. There will be moments when silence feels uncomfortable. The urge to respond will push hard. That urge is a test. Passing it strengthens discipline. Failing it teaches a lesson. Both are part of growth, but mastery comes from passing more often than failing. This habit is not built in one day. It is trained through repetition. Each pause becomes easier than the last. Each calm response feels more natural. Eventually, reaction no longer feels automatic. Choice becomes default. The emotionally untouchable person does not rush to correct every misunderstanding. They understand that clarity does not always need immediate explanation. Time often corrects what words cannot. This understanding, in moments of pressure, detachment acts like armor. Words bounce off, situations slow down. The mind stays in control. Control allows strategy. Strategy shapes results. This is how emotional strength begins, not through suppression, but through timing, not through coldness, but through awareness. Not through silence alone, but through chosen silence. Detach from instant reactions, and the world loses its grip on your inner state. When your inner state is stable, your outer life follows with less resistance. This is the first step toward becoming emotionally untouchable. Emotions are not enemies, they are signals. Most people either obey them blindly or try to crush them. Both paths lead to loss. The habit that creates emotional strength is learning to observe emotions the way a strategist studies a situation. Calmly, without judgment, without rushing to act. Observation turns chaos into information. When emotion rises, the body reacts first. A tightening in the chest, heat in the face, a restless urge to move or speak. These sensations feel urgent, but they are not commands, they are messages. The emotionally untouchable person reads the message before responding to it. Reading takes patience. Patience creates advantage. Think about how often emotions decide actions without permission. Anger sends a sharp message. Fear tells the body to retreat. Pride pushes the mouth to defend. These reactions happen fast, they feel automatic, but automatic behavior is easy to predict. Predictable people are easy to Observation interrupts this pattern. Instead of becoming the emotion, you stand slightly apart from it. You notice it like weather passing through. You feel it fully, but you do not let it steer. This distance creates clarity. Clarity changes outcomes. A strategist never confuses noise with truth. Emotions are loud, but they are not always accurate. Anger often hides hurt, fear often hides uncertainty, excitement can hide risk. When you observe instead of react, you uncover what is really happening underneath the surface. In daily life, this habit shows up quietly. Someone speaks in a harsh tone. Instead of answering with the same energy, you notice your own response first. The heartbeat increases. The jaw tightens. You name it internally without acting on it. That pause allows choice. Choice is power. Observation also protects you from manipulation. Many people use emotion to control others. They raise their voice. They apply pressure. They create urgency. If you react emotionally, you fall into their frame. If you observe, their tactics lose effect. Calm presence breaks their momentum. There is strength in naming emotions silently, not out loud, not dramatically, simply acknowledging what is present. This reduces intensity. When something is named, it becomes manageable. Unnamed emotion grows and spills into action. This habit also improves decision-making. Decisions made under emotional pressure often feel right in the moment and wrong later. Observation delays decision just long enough for reason to join the process. When reason and emotion align, action becomes effective instead of impulsive. People often believe strong individuals feel less. The opposite is true. Strong individuals feel deeply but act selectively. They understand that feeling does not equal action. This separation keeps their direction steady. Observation sharpens self-knowledge. You begin to see patterns. Which situations trigger impatience? Which words cause defensiveness? Which environments increase stress? This knowledge allows preparation. Preparation reduces surprise. Reduced surprise lowers emotional spikes. Over time, emotions lose their grip because they are no longer feared. Fear of emotion creates resistance. Resistance increases intensity. Observation accepts emotion without surrendering control. Acceptance calms the nervous system. This habit also builds empathy. When you observe your own emotional shifts, you become better at noticing others. You see when someone is acting from fear or insecurity rather than intent. This understanding changes how you respond. Has become strategic. In conversations, observation allows silence to work for you. You notice when someone fills gaps with unnecessary words. You notice when tension rises and when it fades. Timing becomes clear. You speak when impact is highest, not when emotion demands release. There is also freedom in this habit. Emotional reactions often trap people in cycles. The same argument, the same regret, the same apology. Observation breaks cycles. When you stop reacting the same way, situations change naturally. At first, this practice feels slow and hard. The body wants release. With repetition, observation becomes faster. Calm arrives sooner. What once took minutes takes seconds. Mastery shows in speed of recovery, not absence of emotion. This habit also strengthens confidence. When you know you can handle emotional pressure without losing control, fear decreases. Fear decreases hesitation. Hesitation often blocks opportunity. Calm confidence invites opportunity. People who observe emotions rather than obey them appear composed. Composure attracts trust. Trust opens access. Access increases influence. Influence gained through calm lasts longer than influence gained through force. There will be moments when emotion overwhelms observation. That is part of being human. The goal is not perfection. The goal is improvement. Each moment of awareness counts. Each pause strengthens the habit. Over time, emotional storms become easier to navigate. You stop fearing them. You stop being surprised by them. They become familiar terrain. Familiar terrain does not cause panic. This habit also protects inner peace. Emotional chaos drains energy. Observation conserves it. Energy conserved fuels growth. Growth increases options. Options reduce pressure. When pressure reduces, emotional control becomes natural rather than forced. You stop fighting yourself. You start leading yourself. Observe emotions like a strategist, and they stop being enemies. They become tools. Tools used wisely build strength. Strength used calmly creates stability. Stability is the mark of someone emotionally untouchable. This is not coldness, this is clarity, and clarity changes everything. The ego is loud. It demands recognition. It wants to be right, seen, praised, and protected at all times. When ego is fed constantly, emotional control weakens. When ego is restrained, control becomes solid. Emotional strength grows not by inflating the ego, but by starving it carefully. Most emotional reactions are not about the situation. They are about the ego feeling threatened. A comment feels disrespectful. Silence feels like rejection. Feedback feels like attack. The ego interprets these moments as danger. It pushes emotion forward to defend identity. That defense often causes damage. When ego leads, emotions spike fast and fade slow. Anger lingers. Shame settles deep. Pride blocks learning. None of these states serve long-term strength. They trap attention on self-image instead of progress. Starving the ego does not mean hating yourself. It means removing the need to constantly protect how you appear. It means accepting that being wrong does not destroy you. It means understanding that not every moment is a test of worth. The emotionally untouchable person does not rush to defend their image. They allow misunderstanding to exist temporarily. They allow others to think what they want. This patience removes pressure. Pressure is what fuels emotional outbursts. Think about how often emotional pain comes from comparison. Someone else succeeds faster. Someone else receives praise. Someone else seems ahead. The ego turns this into personal failure. Emotional reactions follow. Discouragement, envy, resentment. None of these improve. When ego is starved, comparison loses power. Focus shifts inward. Progress becomes personal rather than competitive. Personal progress feels stable. Competitive progress feels fragile because it depends on others. Ego also feeds on praise. Praise feels good, but dependency on it creates weakness. When praise disappears, motivation collapses. When criticism appears, confidence shakes. This emotional swing makes consistency impossible. Strength comes from internal standards, not external reactions. Internal standards do not change daily. They guide behavior regardless of mood or feedback. When ego is quiet, standards become clear. In daily life, starving the ego looks simple but feels uncomfortable at first. You listen without interrupting. You accept correction without argument. You admit mistakes without drama. Each of these actions weakens ego and strengthens control. Control grows when you stop needing to win every exchange. Winning arguments often costs relationships. Losing the need to win preserves energy. Energy preserved fuels growth. Ego also pushes people to speak too much, to explain, to justify, to prove. Silence starves ego. Silence removes the stage ego craves. Without a stage, ego loses influence. Notice how calm increases when you stop explaining yourself to everyone. The body relaxes. The mind clears. You move without needing approval. Approval seeking creates emotional dependence. Independence creates emotional stability. Starving the ego also reduces sensitivity. Words lose their sting. Opinions lose their grip. You stop taking everything personally. This is not numbness, it is perspective. Perspective reminds you that most situations are not about you. People act from their own fears, needs, and pressures. Ego makes everything personal. Awareness makes things clearer. When ego is quiet, learning accelerates. Pride blocks growth. Humility invites correction. Correction refines skill. Refined skill builds confidence that does not need validation. There is also courage in ego restraint. It takes strength to stay calm when ignored. It takes strength to stay grounded when challenged. Ego wants immediate response. Discipline delays it. Delayed response allows strategy. Strategy outperforms impulse. Impulse satisfies emotion. Strategy builds results. In conflict, ego pushes escalation. Control seeks resolution or distance. Distance protects peace. Peace supports focus. Focus supports progress. Starving the ego also changes how failure is processed. Failure becomes feedback instead of identity. Feedback guides improvement. Identity remains stable. Stability reduces emotional swings. Many people avoid ego restraint because it feels like losing. In truth, it is gaining control. Control over reaction, control over direction, control over energy. Over time, others notice the change. You become harder to provoke. harder to manipulate, harder to distract. This creates quiet authority. Authority earned through control lasts longer than authority demanded through force. Force creates resistance. Control creates respect. Ego-driven people burn out quickly. They are always defending, comparing, proving. Emotionally controlled people conserve energy. Conservation allows longevity. There will be moments when ego pushes hard. Old habits surface. The urge to defend appears. These moments are tests. Each test passed strengthens discipline. The goal is not to erase ego, but to reduce its influence. Ego becomes a servant rather than a master. When ego serves, confidence remains without arrogance. Confidence without arrogance feels steady. It does not shake easily. It does not seek attention. It does not panic under pressure. This is emotional strength, quiet, grounded, reliable. Starve the ego, and emotional reactions lose fuel. Strengthen control, and your inner state becomes stable. Stability changes how life unfolds around you. Pain visits everyone. The difference is not who feels it, but who uses it. Many people run from discomfort. They distract themselves, complain, or numb the feeling until it fades. In doing so, they lose a powerful source of strength. Pain, when handled with discipline, becomes a tool instead of a burden. Emotional pain often arrives without warning. A loss, a rejection, a betrayal, a failure that cuts deeper than expected. The body reacts immediately. The chest feels heavy, the stomach tightens, sleep becomes restless. These sensations are uncomfortable, but they are also signals. They tell you something matters. Discipline decides what happens next. Without discipline, pain turns into chaos. Thoughts spiral, anger seeks targets, sadness drains energy, motivation collapses. People become reactive, careless, and exposed. With discipline, pain is contained. It is given structure. Structure prevents emotional collapse. Turning pain into discipline starts with acceptance, not approval. Acceptance. Fighting pain wastes energy. Energy spent resisting cannot be used for growth. When pain is acknowledged calmly, the body relaxes slightly. The mind becomes clearer. Clarity allows direction. Discipline means choosing behavior even when emotion resists. Pain says stop. Discipline says continue carefully. Pain says escape. Discipline says endure intelligently. This does not mean forcing yourself blindly. It means maintaining standards even under pressure. In daily life, this habit appears in simple moments. You feel disappointed, but you still show up. You feel tired, but you keep routines intact. You feel discouraged, but you do not abandon progress. These actions seem small. They compound quickly. Pain sharpens focus when discipline guides it. Comfort makes the mind lazy. Discomfort demands attention. When attention is directed properly, learning accelerates. Lessons learned during pain stay longer because emotion reinforces memory. Many strong habits are born from difficult periods: regular work, physical care, emotional restraint. These habits often begin as coping mechanisms and become strengths. Pain creates urgency. Discipline gives it direction. There is also honesty in pain. It removes illusions. It shows what is fragile and what is solid. Discipline uses this clarity to strengthen weak areas. Without pain, weaknesses remain hidden. People often believe pain should disappear before progress continues. This belief delays growth. Pain does not need to vanish for discipline to operate. Discipline functions alongside discomfort. Over time, discomfort loses intensity because structure supports it. Turning pain into discipline also prevents bitterness. Bitterness forms when pain feels meaningless. Meaningless pain drains hope. Discipline creates meaning through action. Action transforms experience into progress. There is dignity in controlled suffering, not dramatic suffering, quiet endurance. Endurance builds self-respect. Self-respect stabilizes emotion. Stable emotion improves judgment. Pain also tests values. Under pressure, true priorities reveal themselves. Discipline ensures actions align with values even when it is hard. Alignment reduces internal conflict. Reduced conflict in emotional pain, the urge to speak recklessly is strong. Discipline restrains speech. Words spoken during pain often cause regret. Silence allows healing. Healing restores strength. Physical pain also teaches discipline. Fatigue, soreness, and strain reveal limits. Respecting limits while maintaining effort builds resilience. Resilience carries over into emotional strength. People who avoid pain avoid growth. Growth requires friction. Discipline allows you to pass through friction without breaking. Breaking creates setbacks. Passing through creates progress. There is also patience developed through pain. Results may slow. Progress may feel invisible. Discipline maintains consistency during these periods. Consistency keeps momentum alive even when motivation fades. Pain teaches humility. Humility opens learning. Learning refines approach. Refined approach improves outcomes. This chain begins with discipline. When pain appears, many seek comfort immediately. Comfort has its place, but excess comfort weakens resolve. Discipline balances comfort with effort. Balance prevents collapse. Turning pain into discipline also builds emotional immunity. Future challenges feel familiar. Familiarity reduces fear. Reduced fear improves response. This habit changes identity over time. You stop seeing yourself as someone who avoids difficulty. You begin to see yourself as someone who handles it. This identity strengthens confidence. Confidence built through pain is different from confidence built through praise. Praise fades quickly. Pain-earned confidence remains under pressure. Others notice this change. Calm during difficulty stands out. Reliability during stress builds trust. Trust creates opportunity. Pain does not last forever, but its lessons can. Discipline ensures lessons are kept. Without discipline, pain repeats itself without growth. There will be moments when pain feels overwhelming. In these moments, discipline narrows focus. One task, one action, one standard maintained. Narrow focus prevents collapse. Over time, pain becomes less frightening. You know you can move through it. This knowledge reduces anxiety before challenges even arrive. Turning pain into discipline does not remove feeling. It gives feeling purpose. Purpose steadies the mind. A steady mind leads. This is how emotional untouchability grows, not by avoiding pain, but by shaping it. Pain arrives uninvited. Discipline decides what it becomes. Used wisely, pain strengthens structure. Strengthened structure supports calm. Calm protects control. Control preserves direction. This is the habit that turns hardship into advantage. The final habit is the one that seals emotional control completely. It is quiet, precise, and often misunderstood. Reveal nothing, decide everything. This is not about deception. It is about protection. Emotional exposure gives others access to your inner state. Once they see it, they can influence it. When inner movement stays private, influence disappears. Most people talk when emotions are active. They explain how they feel. They announce frustration. They reveal fear, doubt, excitement, or anger without restraint. This feels honest, but it creates weakness. Once emotions are visible, they can be pushed, pulled, or used against you. Control fades the moment inner reactions become public. The emotionally untouchable person understands that privacy is strength. Decisions are made internally, calmly, and fully. Emotional processing happens inside, not on display. This does not mean isolation, it means selectivity. Not everyone deserves access to your internal world. When nothing is revealed, others are forced to guess. Guessing creates uncertainty. Uncertainty removes leverage. Without leverage, manipulation fails. Calm presence replaces emotional exposure. Deciding everything means clarity exists inside before action appears outside. Actions feel steady because they are not rushed. Rushed actions often require explanation. Clear decisions do not. They stand on their own. In daily life, this habit looks simple. You listen more than you speak. You respond briefly instead of emotionally. You acknowledge without explaining. You act without announcing plans. These behaviors reduce noise. Reduced noise preserves focus. People often believe sharing emotions builds connection. In truth, uncontrolled sharing often builds dependency. Dependency weakens emotional strength. Strength comes from knowing you can handle your internal state alone. This habit also protects future plans. When plans are spoken too early, doubt enters from outside. Opinions interfere, expectations form, pressure builds. Silence protects intention until action is ready. Reveal nothing also means not reacting publicly. Reactions reveal priorities. They show what matters most. Once others know what matters, they know where to apply pressure. When reactions are minimal, pressure points disappear. Decisions made privately feel different. They are not shaped by immediate approval or rejection. They are shaped by values and long-term direction. Long-term direction creates stability. There is a calm authority that comes from this habit. Others sense that you are not easily moved. They notice that words do not shake you. Situations do not rush you. This presence changes dynamics without effort. Reveal nothing does not mean lying. It means choosing silence when speech adds no value. Silence is neutral. Neutrality keeps power balanced. Words tilt balance. Choose them carefully. Decide everything also means responsibility. When decisions are internal, excuses disappear. There is no one else to blame. Responsibility strengthens discipline. Discipline stabilizes emotion. This habit reduces regret. Many regrets come from emotional oversharing. Words spoken in emotion cannot be retrieved. Silence prevents in conflict. This habit is especially powerful. Others may escalate emotionally. They may demand response. Calm restraint denies escalation. Without fuel, conflict fades or exposes itself. Reveal nothing also protects healing. Emotional wounds heal faster when not reopened repeatedly through explanation. Explanation relives emotion. Privacy allows recovery. This habit also strengthens self-respect. You no longer feel the need to justify your path. Justification often comes from insecurity. Security feels quiet. Over time, people adjust their behavior around you. They stop probing, they stop testing, they sense boundaries without being told. Boundaries maintained silently are respected more than boundaries defended loudly. Decide everything internally also improves speed. Decisions are not delayed by external opinion. Action becomes efficient. Efficiency reduces stress. Reduced stress improves emotional balance. There will be moments when silence feels heavy. The urge to explain will rise. This urge often comes from ego or fear. Resisting it builds control. Control compounds. This habit also keeps emotions clean. When emotions are processed privately, they settle fully. Public processing often keeps emotion alive through feedback and reaction. The emotionally untouchable person still feels deeply. They simply choose where feeling is expressed. Expression is intentional, not reactive. Reveal nothing, decide everything, and emotional chaos loses access. Your inner state becomes stable. Stability becomes visible through calm behavior, steady action, and clear boundaries. This is not secrecy for power over others, it is privacy for power over self. Power over self is the highest form of control. When emotions no longer leak outward, they no longer control direction. Direction becomes deliberate. Deliberate direction leads to consistent results. This habit completes emotional free untouchability. This habit completes emotional untouchability, not by force, not by suppression, by discipline, privacy, and clarity. When nothing is revealed and everything is decided internally, the world cannot shake you easily. and when you cannot be shaken, you move freely.